Hey everyone, welcome back to 90 Degree Turns, where we expand the minds, beliefs, and perspectives of the collective while awakening the sleeping many. I am here with returning guest Fabio Santos for our monthly mini series, the Awakening series. Fabio, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Trisha. Always a pleasure talking to you.
So, for our audience, some of them may be familiar with your work, others are not. So, could you give us a little bit of background of who you are and what you do, Fabio?
Sure. I'm an author. I have four published books regarding spirituality
Sure.
and consciousness development, if I may translate that correct. I'm also an organizing of events towards consciousness. You were there with us last year in Experience 2020 in Brazil. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I was born in Brazil. I am right now in Brazil, giving some lectures, and that's pretty much what I do.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm excited to jump into today's conversation. So, I think we would just start off today talking about, since you have the perspective of being in Brazil right now and living in Canada, let's just kind of say maybe what's going on in the country to give people kind of like a well rounded view.
All right. So
I know it's
there's
a
a
loaded
lot going
question.
on in Brazil right now.
Yeah, yeah. But in terms of, let's say, health and people's mindset, what has been your observation so far?
Well, Brazil hadn't seen any strict regulation last year in 2020. They call it lockdown, but it wasn't. It was just some restrictions here and there, but that's for 2020. Right now, since February, things are getting really, really tough, and we are getting a lot of lockdowns here. The states, each state is responsible for its own regulations. I'm saying that because that's not normal in Brazil. People in the U.S., they are actually used to the states pretty much ruling their own territory, but in Brazil, that's not how it goes. So it's a bit different, and that's new for Brazil. That's new that each state can decide what they need or want to do. That's a huge battle right now because each governor is fighting the federal government. The truth is, the election never ended, so they're still they're still campaigning. They're still fighting for more power. They're still fighting for control. That's the truth, and people are pretty much aware of that. And each side, and we are pretty much saying that there are two sides fighting right now: people who are pro Bolsonaro, Brazil's president, and people who are against Bolsonaro. So pretty much both sides, and they are getting to this fight. So Brazil's election happened 2.5 years ago. They were fighting a lot before everything that is happening right now, but since February, things got a lot worse. And this week, I think it was actually yesterday, that the three command for the army, they resigned. So the Air Force Command and the Navy and the Army Command, they resigned, saying that the president was actually talking about a coup in Brazil, and they resigned. So that's huge
Absolutely, yeah.
in the middle of everything that is happening health-wise, and that's pretty much the highlight of what's going on. But we are in lockdown right now, so everything's closed. I'm at a friend's house in the beach, and the beach is closed,
That's like when
and
they
that's
closed
insane.
California's beach, and in Brazil, that's like it's unheard of.
How can you close the beach?
Oh,
What harm can you get from going to the beach and
yeah.
just
Do you know,
swimming in the ocean, right?
are they like arresting any people on the beach or anything like that if you do trespass onto the
They are
property?
they are inviting you to get out of the beach.
Okay.
We have some barriers on the roads inside the cities. Some they call this the health barriers, but they cannot uh, tell you not to go somewhere because it's unconstitutional. That's
Oh.
the Constitution says that you have the right to go anywhere you want, but they are testing some people on the road, and that's the quick test. It's not that precise, right?
Yeah, just like the
Well,
rapid.
yeah, the rapid test, and especially in São Paulo, where I am, they got all the holidays for the 3 month period, and Brazil got a lot of holidays.
There's a lot.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of holidays, and they got all the holidays, and they put in this week. So this week is the all week holiday. That's the idea they got. No, that I have to tell you. You know that February Brazil has Carnival, right?
Yes,
It's a
that's
famous
already a
party.
week long in itself. That's
They canceled. They canceled Carnival, so everyone went to work. It was not a holiday. No Carnival in Brazil for 2021, and everyone went to work, right? Because of everything that is going on. I'm not saying the word, it's YouTube protocols, right? So right now they did the exact opposite. So instead of everyone going to work or keep working, no, they got all the holidays and they put in a week. So the Brazilians that live in São Paulo and Rio and some other places, they have like a 9 days holiday. So
Wow.
everyone traveled.
yeah, naturally. It would make a lot
Everyone
of sense.
everyone traveled.
Wow.
So there's no sense in this situation, or there's not a pattern in their legislations or in their recommendations, and
Does
it's
it seem
just getting
confusing
worse.
and hypocritical by any means?
Sorry.
Does it seem more confusing as things are progressing, that
Yes.
the story lines up, or that there's potential to just have some misunderstandings?
Yes, a lot. People are completely lost.
Yeah.
When they well, you can imagine the message when you say there's no carnival, and then a month later you have a week of
Of just
holidays.
holiday and not having to work.
People they just don't know what to think, and the communication between the governments, all levels of all the levels of government to the population is very poor. In a week, you hear that there's almost 4,000 deaths in Brazil in a day. It's the first country in the world, and now I think Mexico is in the first one, and Brazil is the second. But anyways, and then on the other side, you hear that Brazil is producing the shots,
The
right?
jabs and stuff.
Yeah, I have to look for a word that is not.
That's
It's not a flag
a
for
safe
YouTube.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and but they are saying that Brazil is not producing enough. So they are asking for U.S. help and for Europe's help, and what they are hearing that there's no help, no one is sending anything more than that
What
it
they
was
already
planned.
have, yeah.
So yeah, but on the next week you hear that there's a lot of vaccine coming here, and so I think it's 450 million shots that are coming in 2021. So you have a lot of misinformation. You don't know what to believe.
Yeah,
If
it
you
just-
have everything under control or not. If you hear the people that are pro-government, everything is fine. Everything is on track, and we will be fine. But if you hear the
Other side.
opposition, it's Armageddon.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your perspective and bringing such like recent news straight from Brazil. In the States here, I think it depends on where you're at. So I'm in Chicago, right? And so here it looks like things have opened up a lot more since 2021 has started. So we've had our restaurants be able to open up. I see kids playing in playgrounds in schools.
That's
and
good.
not all of them are like covered, which is great. I don't know what it looks like inside. I'm guessing it's not that much different than what they tried to implement last year. But it seems like things are opening up with limited capacities. But then, interestingly enough, like yesterday or the day before, in the news, they started talking about these passports for 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 getting that medical thing happen. And so you can have a passport that I guess will essentially allow you to travel between. I don't know if it's between the states or if every state's gonna have their own one. But our mayor here, she was saying that the city isn't ready for that kind of, I guess, next big step. So it looks like, from what I've seen, like a digital QR code on a phone. So if you've gotten the medical procedure that they're requesting, then you're able to have this QR code. Um, and it's interesting to see how people are responding, right? Because I know some definitely older individuals who are running to get the procedure done, and they feel good about it, right? And then I have other people who are around my age, and some of them are just not interested in it, and other ones are like kind of more in a pessimistic mood, and they're like, let's just take it. What else is there really? There's nothing really else going on in the world, kind of thing. We're all gonna die. So
Yeah.
it sounds super pessimistic, but there's definitely, I mean, I think we've definitely talked about this, where there's a big divide in humanity and how they view the world and how we all see each other. And I feel like it's becoming increasingly more difficult and more polarized to be able to communicate with people
Yeah.
on almost anything nowadays. I mean, you could speak about something as simple as, like, I don't know, wanting to go to Florida, right? Because there's beaches there and they're open. That's a state that's pretty open, and people are enjoying their lives there. But that can cause a controversy from just saying that you want to go to the beach and enjoy your life, because then someone can get mad. It's interesting to see the dynamics and the strategy of just manipulating people through emotions and a lot of fear. But I'm glad to see that you're doing well, and that you were able to still hold different events. And are these online events that you're holding, or are they in person?
Well, for the moment, just online
Yeah.
events. I hope that I can do a couple of in-person events in a couple of weeks. I'm staying here for a little bit more time than I expected, just to try to have those in-person events, and then I come back to Canada. But it's been tough. Well, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Every week is a different legislation or recommendation, or they don't know if they close, if they're open. But that's the thing that I'm seeing in Canada as well. Canada is pretty much the same way. I talked to my family in Ontario today, and they are expecting the governor of Ontario and the prime minister, or whoever is going to talk tomorrow, about closing the schools again, and doing the lockdowns again. So I think we can see a pattern in the world, not just the polarization. So bringing two sides against the other, and the 1 week opening, another week closing, and then opening again and closing again. I think to give people a little bit of hope, so they don't react violently,
So aggressively to it.
right? They are not aggressive. So I open and then they calm down, and then I close again
Yeah.
till they get to
It's
a
it's
certain angry point, right?
Yeah, it's like having like the donkey with like the carrot just constantly hanging in front of you, where you look like you can almost catch it, and every time it gets cut again. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see how things unfold, especially because we're coming in the states here now. We're going from springtime into summer, so I hope that beaches will open, and it looks like many places around the country are kind of battling I guess you call it the stigma of wanting to open up. But I mean, it's been over a year now, and originally all of this started, and it was 2 weeks. So 2 weeks has turned into over a year, and
yep,
there's only so much savings people have that they have families to feed. So it's we're gonna have to see how things go and what people will take, because I mean, anyone who owns a business will know that you can't not be able to have customers for very long, especially if you have like a brick and mortar store. And
definitely.
you have you
Yeah.
have you have to live. Um, so it's interesting. Well, thank you for sharing your perspectives then, and bringing Canada also, because I we're so close to them, but we don't know what goes on everywhere. You know, the media, they like to do that. It's very
Yes.
centralized, and so we not everyone knows what's going on around the world around them,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. And here's the same. It's the same thing. I never watched television, that much of television. But yeah, yesterday I was at a reception in a place, and the TV was on, and I just looked for a couple of minutes, and it's just death here, death there. That's just some monologue. That's
Yeah.
just about death and death and death and death. And I can relate to people that are just sad and feeling without energy, and the frequency is down. It's understandable. I can understand everyone, because well, we are the ones here that are studying about frequencies, studying about consciousness and the spirituality, and we get sometimes a little bit sad, right?
Naturally.
From everything that we see, and we can imagine how people that are not close to that, or familiar to that subject, or are not aware of what's going on behind the curtains, how they can we can relate to them. So sometimes I feel a little bit worried about their mental health.
Yeah.
The suicide rate that is going up, and depression, and some other diseases related to
Just the
the mental
stress and the
diseases, right?
mental,
And
absolutely.
stress. And
Yeah. I mean, that is
so,
the biggest killer is stress, right? So on
yeah.
top of all the hardships that people have been having, I mean, it was a couple months ago I'd seen an article that talked about, unfortunately, about children and how they are taking their own lives. I mean, because there's nothing, all their normal life is taken. They don't hang out with playdates, with friends, and their
Yes.
normal just interacting with kids and people their own age. It's really, really depressing. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes, it is.
and what you're saying, of course, there's naturally we have ebbs and flows in our day-to-day lives, into month to month, and it's just a moment that you have to always ride the wave, right? Whether you're up or down,
Yes.
it will pass, then the next wave will come, and we'll go through it. But for you, what has been some of these like tools that you've used to then help people, or not even help people? What are some like spiritual tools you can perhaps talk about that when people are like in a lower place, what could help them get out of it when it seems like there's no hope around?
Well, it's good that you mentioned that, because I think that before we look for anything spiritual, or anything behind the curtains, or anything magical or mysterious, I think we have to take care of our body, and to take care of our mind with the simplest thing ever. So, do you have a hobby? So just go ahead and do it. You like to sing. You like music. So learn an instrument. Go to YouTube and just learn how to play the piano, or the guitar, or I don't know. You like puzzles. You like
Yeah.
anything that you can do that you actually enjoy. Just go ahead and do it. Learn another language,
That
right?
opens a lot of doors.
So yeah, just go ahead and do it, because that before looking for anything that it's mind opening, or any spiritual study, or anything related to that, just take care of your mind on a day-to-day basis. So if you have to stay home, just look for sort of something to have a little bit of fun with your kids, with your husband or wife, or with yourself. Just have a little bit of fun every day,
Yeah, I think it's
right?
about finding like that little light that can shine the light in the dark cave. And you're
Yes.
absolutely on point with that, because I know there's times where I've been in darker places, and the things that brought me joy, no matter how tiny they were, like they were things that really they're part of who you are, right? So oftentimes I look at what things I enjoyed as a kid, and I'm sure you can relate. Those things kind of stick
Yes.
with you for your whole life,
Perfect.
and so you just kind of not revert back to your childlike self, but kind of in a way go into your inner child, if that's what you want to call it. But think of those things, and it could help you spark some joy within one's life, even though it might seem gloomy, especially with, I can only
Definitely.
imagine, with the lockdowns and everything that are happening in life. It's definitely rough out there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So if you are able to meet anyone, just go ahead and do it. You have the rules, you have the protocols. I'm not saying anyone to break them, but if you have the rules, you just play by the rules. You can have, for instance, in Ontario, you can have a 10 people gathering. So if you can do that, just go ahead. I don't know, once a week, or I don't know, just go ahead and have it. You can. It's not perfect, but you can. I'm seeing some friends doing a Zoom happy hour.
Yeah.
So
That was a big thing last year here. There were so many happy hours that I actually feel like people got like technological fatigue, where because everyone was throwing all these different Zoom invites, and there
yeah,
was like even an app called House Party. It's basically like Zoom for your phone. It was at first it was exciting. It was like really exciting because it was new, and then people kind of got tired of it because it's like how many times can we talk on through the internet, you know? And it's interesting because like we're on here talking through. This is what we do, you know. But
yeah, yeah.
it's definitely an interesting experience, you know. But you gotta do what you can do to keep your energy up, you know, and remember how human we are, because that's what we're here
Yes,
for, right? Like we're here at this human experience to understand all the feelings, the emotions, all the joys, the highs, the lows, all of it that is here. So I feel like it's interesting because many people in the community sometimes want to like leave, right? They're excited to like get off Earth and to go to the next place, but I mean, we don't all know what the next place is, you know, and like, what's that? What is your thoughts on that? I mean, what do you feel about that kind of that mindset as
well,
well?
we have to pay attention on the frequencies, right?
Yeah,
If you want to leave Earth, that's fine, but you have to leave on a good frequency. If you're leaving Earth revolted with everything that is happening, angry or sad, you're not, you're probably, I'm not going to say 100%, but you're probably are not going to anything better than the place that you are. So that's frequency. So we have to manage our frequency here on Earth, and then we can think about leaving Earth at the right time.
yeah,
So not earlier, right? So it's smarter to take care of ourselves here, to make sure that we are going to a good place based on the frequencies. So we must stay on a good frequency, and looking for something that you like to do, that you have fun, is I think is the first step. So, and of course we have to say exercise and eat well. I know it's really tough to exercise at home, and I am an example that's very hard to exercise at home, and to eat well as well. But we have to do that effort, and I think the first step, as I said before, is look for something that you like to do. And as you said, and it's well said, maybe something that you did as a kid, right? And then you can re-achieve that frequency, and then you can evaluate if you really want to leave Earth right now. You can wait a little bit to do that.
yeah. There might be some time. I mean, we never know when it's gonna be our last moment when this physical vessel, you know. But I think we could enjoy it as much as we can, you know, and provide love to all the people that is around us, you know, and find joy in the little things. And I mean, hopefully, I don't know. I can't tell the future. I don't have a crystal ball that could tell me. But I mean, I do hope that things can get better, at least from a mindset perspective. If we all have control over our mindset and our feelings, then it's a lot harder for external forces to really bring you down to a level where you feel like you have to escape into whether it's leaving the planet or like a substance or anything that's out there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is not the problem, but the thing is, we have actually two worlds to take care of. So we have the external and the internal, basically. So the external, we have control, but we have control collectively, right? And our inner world, that's 100% our responsibility.
Yeah.
And so we can live in a messy world in a happy way if we have our inner world 100% in a good frequency.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the first step, taking care of our inner self. So turning ourselves inside. Just stop looking outside for a bit. Let's rescue ourselves in a good frequency way. So we cannot give what we don't have. So if you want to spread love, we need to cultivate love inside first. So if you don't have love in your heart, you cannot give love. So let's cultivate that in ourselves. We talk about looking for something fun or talk to friends or read a book. I don't know. Everyone has a different way of motivating themselves. So, and you know what motivates you. You know that 100%. So go ahead and do it. Just if you are fine, everyone beside you is going to be fine. Your family is going to be fine. Your friends are going to be fine. That they're going to resonate with you. And if they don't resonate, that's okay. They're not going to be near you. And that's okay for you and for them
It's okay for
as well.
everybody involved, for all parties. There's
Right?
no harm.
So let's take care of ourselves. We cannot. If you're not the president of any country or a governor, you cannot do what we wanted to for you to do. So just go ahead and take care of yourself. Let's change the world, changing you first.
Yes,
Right? Let's
absolutely.
begin with ourselves.
It's the inner world that we have to take control of.
Yes.
And naturally,
Yes.
by energy and frequency, it'll resonate outwards. So, Fabio, thank you. Thank you for this lovely conversation. I'd love to know then where can we find your work and what's going on with your courses. So, if anyone here is from Brazil watching, they can see where they could find your stuff and kind of get a hold of you.
Perfect. First of all, thank you very much for another pleasant conversation. And anyone can find me at fabsantos.com, fabsantos.com. So we have an English website, Spanish, and Portuguese. I have the first two books published in those three languages, so you can find it there.
This is one of
All
them.
right, so you have my first book there. So the answer for everything. Nice. So you can go to fabsantos.com, fabsantos.com, and you can find everything about me there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again, Fabio. It was a pleasure to talk with you and to reconnect after all this time. And I look forward to the next conversation. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a wonderful night. Bye.